Hey guys, it is time to talk about biomagnification and bioaccumulation. So let's just jump right in and use our PowerPoint just to keep me on track. So when we talk about biomagnification and bioaccumulation, we are usually talking about a contaminant in a food chain or in a food web. And they are particularly significant in aquatic food webs because it's so easy for things to be taken up in an aquatic food web. So first, let's define these terms. So bioaccumulation is when you have an increase in the concentration of a pollutant in an individual organism. So when this happens, it's because an organism consumes a pollutant, whether it's through the water or whether it's in their food, whatever reason, they consume a contaminant, a pollutant, and their body does not eliminate that pollutant, frequently because it's something that's fat soluble. And so it just stays in the body of the organism. And so as it continues to consume that pollutant, the concentration in their body continues to increase. Biomagnification, on the other hand, is when you have an increase in concentration of a pollutant because of a food chain. And so you might have bioaccumulation in an organism, let's say our small fish here in this picture, our little minnow. And as it consumes the pollutant, the concentration in its body increases. Well, as you move up the trophic chain, we remember that we lose energy at each level of the trophic chain. And so each organism has to eat large numbers of the organisms below it on the trophic pyramid in order to survive. So that means that the larger organisms are consuming even more of the pollutant. And again, they're not able to eliminate it from their bodies. And so when you have a combination of bioaccumulation, the increase in one organism, and then biomagnification, the increase up the food chain, then you have kind of a double whammy in terms of concentrating the contaminant in an animal. So again, bioaccumulation just happens over time. The contaminant levels increase because the organism continues to consume the contaminant, but does not eliminate the contaminant. Biomagnification occurs because of trophic level. So as you go up the trophic level, there's more and more of the contaminant in the body of the animal. So for example, we look at the pumas in well, this happens to be in Japan, I think, but coastal fog had high mercury levels. And so pumas, because they cannot eliminate the contaminant, the methylmercury, from their bodies, bioaccumulate. But also because they are the top animals in the food chain, they are victims of biomagnification as well, because all of the organisms that they consume have also been consuming the methylmercury. So bioaccumulation, the methylmercury ingested by one puma stays in his body, but the contaminant has built up through the food chain in order to reach the puma as the apex predator, so that's biomagnification. Top carnivores are generally the most at risk when we talk about bioaccumulation and biomagnification. And we've talked about the example of DDT thinning eggshells for the raptors, everything from peregrine falcons to eagles. And it's important when we start talking about the effects of bioaccumulation and biomagnification that we remember who our apex predator in pretty much every food chain is, and that's us. So when we talk about biomagnification through the food chain, we are the ultimate at the top of that food chain who are the recipients of all of that biomagnification. So what are some of our toxins that are really prone to biomagnification? Well, they're those persistent organic pollutants, those POPs. So that includes things like PCBs and DDT, but it also includes certain heavy metals like mercury. And so when we consume those top predators, so when we consume tuna or salmon or any of the apex predators in the food chain, then we are subjecting ourselves to that biomagnification as well. Okay, and that's it for bioaccumulation and biomagnification. As always, if you have questions, let me know.